In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, like we're drowning in a sea of information, expectations, and pressures. You might feel like you're losing control, struggling to keep up with everything life throws at you. But what if I told you that the answer to navigating this chaos isn't in the latest productivity hack or wellness trend, but in a philosophy that's over 2,000 years old? Enter Stoicism, a philosophy that isn't about passive acceptance, but about actively taking control of your mind and emotions, even when the world around you feels out of control. Think about your life for a moment. How often do you find yourself anxious or stressed about things that are beyond your control? Maybe it's a critical comment from someone at work, a traffic jam that makes you late, or even worrying about what the future holds. What if, instead of being caught up in these stresses, you could change the way you interact with them? What if the key to a more peaceful life isn't in changing the world around you, but in mastering the world within you? In this video, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy, combined with modern psychological practices, can provide a powerful framework for improving your mental health. From taking control of your reactions to mastering your emotions, we'll uncover practical steps that you can start using today to regain a sense of peace and control. Number 6. Focusing on what you can control. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is a life-changing realization. We have power over our responses, but not over the events themselves. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught that our true power lies not in the external world, but in how we choose to react to it. Imagine how much of your mental energy is spent worrying about things you can't change, like what others think of you, the mistakes you made in the past, or the uncertainty of the future. Now, imagine if you could redirect that energy towards things you can control, like your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. Let's take athletes as an example. They're trained to focus on what's within their control, like their preparation, effort, and mindset, rather than obsessing over the final score. This mindset, deeply rooted in Stoic principles, allows them to perform at their best, regardless of external pressures. And just like these athletes, you too can train your mind to focus on what truly matters. This concept isn't just philosophical. It's also the foundation of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a highly effective form of modern psychology. CBT teaches that by changing the way we think, we can change the way we feel and behave. Just like the Stoics advised, it's about focusing on what's within our control and letting go of what isn't. Think about how freeing that could be, letting go of the things that weigh you down and reclaiming your mental and emotional energy. Starting today, try to identify one area of your life where you're wasting energy on things you can't control. Maybe it's the fear of others' judgments or anxiety about the future. Shift your focus towards what you can influence, and notice how this simple shift can reduce stress and increase your sense of empowerment. Number 5. Emotional control. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding and managing them so they don't control you. The Stoics believe that our emotions often arise from our judgments about the world, not from the events themselves. By practicing self-control and developing mental resilience, we can prevent our emotions from overwhelming us. Modern neuroscience backs this up. When we experience strong emotions, the amygdala, our brain's threat detection center, can hijack our thinking. It's like your brain is on autopilot, reacting before you even have a chance to think. But with training, you can activate your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thought, and regain control over your emotional responses. One technique you can try is cognitive restructuring, a method used in CBT. When you feel a strong emotion, pause and ask yourself, what thought is causing this feeling? Is this thought based on reality, or is it a distorted perception? By challenging these thoughts, you can begin to regulate your emotions more effectively and take back control of your mental state. Number 4. Detachment. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Stoicism is the idea of indifference. This doesn't mean being apathetic, but rather recognizing that external events are neutral. They only take on meaning based on how we interpret them. By accepting that some things are beyond our control and choosing how we respond, we can build resilience in the face of adversity. Indifference, in Stoic terms, is about understanding that the events themselves don't dictate our happiness or misery. Our interpretation of those events does. By practicing this mindset, we can maintain inner peace, even in the face of life's challenges. Consider Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor. He found meaning and a sense of freedom even in the most horrific circumstances by focusing on what he could control, his attitude and his responses. This is a powerful example of Stoic indifference in action. Number 3, cultivating gratitude. Gratitude is a central theme in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics taught that instead of focusing on what we lack, we should appreciate what we have. This simple practice can shift our mindset from one of scarcity and envy to one of abundance and contentment. There was a time in my life when I was constantly comparing myself to others, feeling inadequate and dissatisfied. I felt like I was always one step behind, always missing out on something. But when I started practicing gratitude, taking time each day to reflect on the good in my life, I began to notice a profound shift in my mental state. I felt more content, less stressed, and more resilient in the face of challenges. Positive psychology research shows that regular gratitude practice can lead to significant improvements in well-being. Try starting a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. It's a small habit that can lead to big changes in your mental health. Number 2, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage our own emotions, as well as those of others. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-awareness and self-control, offers valuable tools for developing this skill. Emotional intelligence is composed of several key components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Stoicism helps us cultivate these by encouraging reflection on our emotions, challenging our impulses, and practicing empathy toward others. Think about a recent situation where your emotions got the better of you. Maybe it was an argument that spiraled out of control, or a moment where you felt overwhelmed by stress. How might things have turned out differently if you had applied Stoic principles, like taking a pause before reacting or considering the other person's perspective? By reflecting on these moments, you can begin to build your emotional intelligence and improve your interactions with others. Number 1, practicing mindfulness and living in the present. Mindfulness, the practice of staying present and accepting the moment as it is a concept that's deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that by focusing on the present and not being weighed down by regrets about the past or anxieties about the future, we can achieve a more balanced and peaceful mind. A Stoic technique for cultivating mindfulness is the view from above, where you imagine looking at your life, or even the universe, from a high vantage point. This exercise helps you see your problems in perspective and reduces their emotional impact. Mindfulness has become a cornerstone of modern mental health practices, from therapy sessions to corporate wellness programs. The Stoic approach to mindfulness, with its emphasis on the present moment, aligns closely with these contemporary practices and offers a powerful tool for reducing anxiety and stress. Stoic philosophy offers a timeless and powerful framework for improving mental health. By focusing on what you can control, mastering your emotions, and cultivating gratitude and mindfulness, you can achieve a greater sense of inner peace and resilience. These principles are just as relevant today as they were 2,000 years ago. Now, I want you to take a moment to reflect. Which of these Stoic principles speaks most to you? Is it the idea of focusing on what you can control, or perhaps the practice of gratitude? I challenge you to choose one principle and apply it to your life over the next week. Observe how it changes your mindset, your emotions, and your interactions with others. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share it with someone who might benefit from these insights. Remember, true strength doesn't come from controlling the world around you, but from mastering the world within. Stay tuned for more on how ancient wisdom can guide you through modern challenges.